is another A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha is here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
We're very festive today, and we're going to get to our festiveness. But first, let's plug some things.
The Orlando Solar Bears this Saturday are doing their teddy bear toss onto the ice.
Yes, sir.
Daniel Dennis will be out there.
Cannot wait.
Tom and Dan section 118. You can get your tickets in our section through tomanddan.com.
Come up to me and say the password Little Fud, and I'll give you a marijuana edible.
Oh, don't tell
I'll
her.
palm you a marijuana edible right there.
I don't think we should. Mo might
Password, it's password Little Fud. Little Fud.
I don't know if old
or Paeto.
Solar.
You can use Paeto or Little Fud. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's always a fun game. That's this Saturday, the Orlando Solar Bears. So
Melissa said Little Fud's handed out all the Delta 9. I will be. Little Fud, that's the spirit of Little Fud. Much like Santa, I go to everybody's house on Christmas Eve handing out Delta 9.
So Little Fud,
Yes.
and let's talk about Elf on the Shelf. So, and anybody who's maybe listening with young kids, we're going to talk about Elf on the Shelf right now, and we're going to talk about it like adults. So,
okay, first thing I'd like for you to do, since we're all adults here, if you're listening to this in your car, even while you're driving, open up your Facebook. If you've made a post in the last 24 hours where you did a Vader on a tater or a Snoop on a stoop or any of that garbage, delete it.
I saw
delete it.
A Glock on a crock.
Yeah.
Watch out now.
Way.
Anyway,
just don't do it.
So Elf on the Shelf. The elves are back
And they're
in our house.
The
this
elves
year.
Better
are
than ever.
back and they're better than ever.
And it seems like there's a maybe an understanding a little bit of Max and Tommy, but they still every morning they go run and find it.
Do you move the elf?
Well, Crystal has done it.
Andrea normally. I do some. Andrea's been doing some good ones. Here's one that we did. I'll give you one that we did. You can't do this one, but it's cool. We put the elf in a Ziploc bag, and then we stuck the elf in the dog food. So when Maisie went to feed the dogs, she saw the elf.
Okay,
Andrea's really good at it, dude.
Yeah, so Crystal is also elaborate when it comes to what the elves are
They're
doing,
moms,
right?
dude. It's a superpower.
Oh, yeah. Now, see, but the problem is every once in a while she'll get tired of doing it, and she'll be like, "Why don't you do it tonight?"
Well,
and
Andrea gets drunk and then forgets to do it. She never does that, but she will forget to do it, and then by her forgetting it, I guess I'm included in there as well. I totally forget to do it.
So then I'll be like, all right, no problem. And then I'll take the elves.
Just move it 1 foot to the side.
No. I won't be that lazy about it.
Still
I'll be
counts.
like, all right, elf playing piano. And I'll just, they'll put on the piano
That's a
keys,
great
right?
one.
And then, or I'll be
That's
like.
a great one.
I like to hang the elves. So like elf.
I like to hang the elves too. That's
elf
a dad thing.
Sits on the fan or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
you know
it
what I
says
do? You know what I do? If you pull a picture or a painting up just a little bit and stick the elf's legs under it and then lean it back against the drywall, it'll hold. And it looks like the elf's hanging off Mission Impossible.
And so the problem is, then Crystal gets mad and she's like, "That's all you're gonna do? You just hang them again?" And because this is probably
I forget the business department, the creative department, and business department are fighting.
And then Crystal will be like, "I know."
Business
what I'm
department
do.
just wants to get the elf moved. Creative department wants to make sure that the elf being moved is creative.
I'm not even joking. She took a friendship bracelet, like the ingredients to it is like
Ingredients to a friendship? What is that?
Like,
puppy dog tails? What are you talking about?
Like they got this
snails, frails, and puppy dog tails.
in their winter wonderland truck or treat.
Are you
trunk
drunk
or treat.
right now?
No.
What is happening?
You know when I told you they had their winter wonderland trunk or treat thing?
I
at
didn't
school?
understand that. They were trick-or-treating for Christmas. I don't get it.
Yeah. It's all candy now. And they were handing out these like
craft supplies.
Yeah, craft supplies in a bag to make a friendship bracelet with words on it.
Don't give me any craft bags.
They were handing it out to the
No,
kids.
don't
Anyway,
give me that.
so Crystal then that night puts them together with the words like to spell their names, and I'm like, "You're doing
Holy, she made
You're going too
custom
far.
jewelry for your son so the elf
Wasn't
brought
that
it
for them to do?
too far."
It was. You're right.
I'm just like, "You're doing too much work." And
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
And the difference between on the fan and the friendship bracelet
It's like
is not
less than 1%.
It's not going to
No.
like in the future pay dividends out.
It
you know what I'm saying?
doesn't. No.
Like
In fact, I'm starting to
no,
second guess it because Maisie demands it, and then she has all these tricks that we've indoctrinated. Sorry, we've been saying that wrong. Let's address that real quick. This is something that you did to me. You started saying indoctored, which is not a word.
No, okay.
It's indoctrinated. There is no word of indoctor, but we have invented it. But you know what? I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not
sounds
gonna,
like a
I'm
word.
not,
It's like Pappas. We're now making up our own vocabulary.
I'm not going to be fully mad at you because I got to be honest with you, big boy. I like that word. I think
Big
it's
boy.
pretty good. I
Little
think
fun,
it's good.
big boy.
Yeah, little fun and big boy.
What is happening?
We're taking over for Outcast.
Yeah. I mean,
It's not bad. Indoctored. When
know
people
what I
say
mean,
it, I
though.
go like, it's like a shorter version of indoctrination.
put it in the Urban Dictionary.
I think so too. I mean, if Dirty Sanchez is in there, we can't get indoctored. Come on, people, wake up.
So anyway,
Do you know what a Dirty Sanchez is? I think it's what the player on that sports team did
okay, well, let's talk about that.
to that fat guy.
Yeah.
I think the fat guy got a Dirty Sanchez.
So let's talk a little sports. I bet way too much money on the 49ers-Eagles game that happened over the weekend.
Right.
And
But I thought you had the 49ers.
I did. I won, which brought me back to only losing a little.
Okay. Well, that's great.
Yeah,
If you're breaking even, you're winning.
Anyway, so during the game, which I was sweating hard at the beginning because it was Eagles went up by 6. It was, and the 49ers weren't doing anything. I was like, oh, my God, it's happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the 49ers came back easily.
Slow. They had to simmer, and then they were good.
Easily won the game.
Yeah,
but
good to go.
During the game, one of the 49ers players, I believe his name is Greenlaw, sorry.
Greenlaw. Greenlaw.
What is that? Green rule. Anyway.
You know what I meant.
Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah, Dre Greenlaw.
He, and this happens every once in a while where a player goes into the opposing player's sidelines and then everybody starts kind of pushing each other around and yelling at each other, scuffling
it's
around.
like a prison yard. When the Aryan Nation walks into, the Black Panthers area.
And so that happened, and Greenlaw gets into a little argument with the Eagles players, and they're yelling at him. And then there's this big white fat guy that's yelling at Greenlaw.
He looks like Big Pussy from The Sopranos.
Yeah. And then Greenlaw kind of sticks his finger out to point. But basically mushes
he Dirty
his
Sanchez's him. He wipes his finger under the fat guy's nose. You want to see it?
Yeah. So,
Here, okay,
Sam,
I've got it up. There they are. They're fighting.
And then I'll tell you the funny part to me. So,
And then watch. He puts his finger.
So you see the slow motion.
Yeah, they'll slow it down here. He goes, whoop, Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah. And so,
Dirty Sanchez.
because Greenlaw gave him a Dirty Sanchez and touched this guy's face, which by the way, I'm looking at this, he gets disqualified from the game,
Yeah.
right?
So you're not even allowed to. You're not allowed the Dirty Sanchez fat guys on the sideline.
Well, the fact that he touched him, but
he didn't do anything to him. He gave him the poo-poo
Yeah.
swipe. He
But-
gave him the old doo-doo swiper.
But because he touched his face, I think that's where they draw the line. Like if you throw a punch, you're disqualified.
He didn't
you
throw a
touch someone,
punch.
you touch someone's face.
Okay.
All
right.
anyway, so then the commentator starts like, "Oh, that's Big Dom, the Eagles security guard." Right, so I'm like, "What? The Eagles security guard?" And then they kick out Big Dom.
Not Big Dom.
And they make him.
Who the F is
leave.
Big Dom?
So and then I was like, "What?" And then I'm like, "I've never
Big
heard."
Dom DeSandro.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've never heard of an NFL team security guard being on the sidelines and having any sort of relevant, like, why is he on the sidelines? Why is
Who's he protecting?
Yeah,
well, that's the other funny part. I was like, wait a minute. These are the biggest
They're
athletes
wearing
in the entire
suits
world.
of armor, for Christ's
And they're
sake.
athletes.
It's like,
They hit each other for a living. Yeah.
but also they're way bigger
Okay.
and more athletic than old
Big Dom.
Big Dom
okay.
Fatso.
Usually Big
Okay,
Dom
hold on.
alone.
Christine's got to try and defend why the Eagles, because she's in there. He's head of security. We need. Boy, you don't need a big fat guy. They're
what is he
wearing
gonna do?
suits of armor on the
No,
side of the field.
But also, even if they were nude, these are the strongest athletes in the world.
Stronger than him?
Of course
that
they
guy's
are.
a big fat turd.
Like it doesn't. Yeah. Like what is this big Dom Fatso guy going to do? Is he armed?
He's just getting in the way.
Like, I would say if he's armed, then you got something, but then why not have a fit, skinny guy who's armed?
This guy's a load.
Like, the fat guy.
Look at this guy. He's a load.
He's going to be slower to pull his gun out, so I doubt he's armed.
He don't have no gun.
No, I know.
Has there been a case where he has protected
Leave the gun, take the cannoli,
Is there any video footage of him protecting someone? Attacking
no.
someone that's
Hell
trying
no.
to hurt a player?
Somebody find it. Somebody find him showing what he does best. He's the Steven Seagal of the Eagles.
Aw.
That's what he is. He's
Dom Seagal?
yeah, he's Eagle Seagal.
Well, my argument would be that the players
Seagal.
can protect
Eagle
themselves more than Big Dom could do anything for them.
Yes.
Like
even the craziest ones, even Antonio Brown, he's limber and fast.
even Devontae Smith from the Eagles, he came out of the draft as one of like the smallest wide receivers. Everybody was criticizing. He's like that he was skinny and didn't weigh that much, slight or whatever. He sure can handle himself fine.
All you have
anybody.
to do is push Big Dom over. He can't get back up. Can't get back up.
Devontae Smith against Big Dom in a fight.
Yeah.
I guess he's really fat. So,
yeah.
But Devontae Smith, I'm sure could punch Big Dom 10 times running around
before
him
Big
in a
Dom
circle.
even realized what was happening.
Yeah,
He's just there for the free catering and to walk up and down the sidelines. That guy's not doing anything.
So, but. Also, I thought, do all teams have security guards on the sidelines?
EJ's telling us, yeah, that's probably a go.
But they hire you always see police in every game.
It's usually to make sure there isn't any tomfoolery, I guess.
Yeah, but
so you want somebody that's like
they have armed police there. Especially in college games, you always see they always have the Florida troopers on the sidelines.
They always have like a trooper walking Bobby Bowden. Remember they do that? I always thought it was because Bobby didn't know where the hell he was.
With his big 357,
ginormous,
good old boy.
big old desert eagle on the side.
Good point in the chat. They wouldn't want to risk an athlete when you can have Big Dom throw his body in front of the damage.
I can see that. Yeah, that I can see that he's out there to kind of
take the hits.
Here's the thing: if a fan jumped over the fence or whatever the wall,
Big Dom couldn't even get to him.
And then so I would bet on any of the Eagles players juking out of the way before Big Dom.
Big Dom's
get over there.
He don't even know what's happening.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not even paying attention.
Yeah. And,
the guy didn't even look like, when you looked at him, he didn't look like a guy that means business. He just looked like he's there to party.
He got
on the
mad when he got Sanchez though.
Yeah, he did. But they put that finger right under his lip, and he's like,
so disrespectful.
Is
there anything worse? Maybe a wet willy.
To a man, I don't know if there's anything worse than, if I walked up to Tom right now, took my pointer finger, and just wiped it under his nose. It's
wet willy's worse, though, right?
I don't think so.
Spit in your ear?
I think under your nose is just smell my finger, you POS. I think it's the worst of the worst. It's the lowest of the low.
When you do smell my finger, it's always two fingers.
Yeah. But it's like. Yeah, that's gross too. But it's gross. I think the swipe under the nose is disgusting.
So another sideline story that happened over the weekend.
That's hilarious. This guy's great.
Alvin Kamara of the Saints got pushed out of bounds.
Do you want to watch that?
Running full speed. I don't know. It's pretty gruesome.
It's not that bad. I mean,
and then runs into one of the old men line judges. And
there it is. Here,
and
you'll
snaps
see
his leg.
Hold on, and there.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah, and his leg is snapped in half.
Yeah, it's bad.
And you could see him he tries to jump, but he's not very limber. Which again, this brings me to another point.
It. You're standing on the sidelines, and then
but this guy is older and he's a little overweight.
He kind of jumped back.
But he jumped back, and when he landed, Kamara then slid into him. And the guy, obviously, he's running full speed, and Kamara's a huge dude, and it snaps his leg, right? Because
San Francisco. I'll be.
Anyway, sorry. So sorry.
So and
Ryan Sickler, get out of here.
So then I started thinking, I was like, like there are a lot of old men, especially like the ones that hold the chains and stuff like that.
You want some new blood in there?
Well,
why do we have robots?
It makes sense that you get at least because what they're doing isn't that complicated. You don't need a veteran old man with 30 years experience.
Put some AI on it, you know? Like, how about a robot that holds it? I mean, you don't need an old man to not get out of the way.
Isn't it like the NFL being negligent by letting old men do this job because the athletes can get pushed going full speed and I mean, if Alvin Kamara hit this guy in the chest, let's say, with his helmet, he could have killed him, right?
These guys are he would have been dead. But these guys are
out of the way.
Don't kid yourself either, too. These guys are not like even Solar Bear level referees, you know, like a division below, like say Master NHL. When you look at NHL, like
they're all fit.
They're all fit because they got to skate.
Yeah.
These guys are standing on the sidelines. I'm with you. Like maybe they should be just like cops. You don't want like cops that can't run after criminals.
I wonder though if it's a case of it doesn't happen often, so they don't really think about it. Because you don't really see an injury this bad.
I don't know.
You see people get run into, but you don't really see this.
You sound like Tom, but I have a bunch of videos on my phone of videos. For whatever reason, I have a history in my phone of watching games where an old man will get plowed over, and then I back it up, video it, and laugh at it. Like, I have a lot of those.
It's usually a cameraman.
Plowed over, but not like broken fibula.
Not broken, but I plowed over. I have
people get run over all the time.
More than 5 on my phone?
Yeah. I'm just saying, should they be fit enough to get out of the way? Because
past like some type of physical?
Yeah.
If you see...
They probably do, though, I would imagine, right?
There are a lot of players on the sidelines and a lot of just random, like there's photographers and then like just random big doms over there.
Big doms over there eating a hot dog.
There is seemingly hundreds of people standing on every foot of the sideline.
Why aren't they on an elevated chair? That's in the ground, and then if
I feel like that's more dangerous.
Well, for Alvin Kamara, not for the guy in the chair.
Yeah, well,
I think for the guy in the chair. What if you knock the chair over and he falls from a
bolted
tall
to concrete?
Yeah.
It's bolted to concrete.
You know, it's. I think there's a lawsuit, or at least there was a lawsuit with one of the players because like the sidelines they put down like plastic. Like basically the actual AstroTurf was only rolled out a certain amount, and then after like the player sidelines, there was like 10 feet of plastic.
Like Visqueen,
yeah, that was under the original.
That sounds about right.
And then so a player was trying to slow down, and then he
and he fell,
and he hurt himself.
Yeah,
and then he was out, a bunch of money, and then he sued the NFL and said like, you were negligent by putting this Visqueen down, and then I hurt myself, and now I'm out all of my bonus money. You
said this 4 weeks ago, I think, on a show.
It made sense.
Why are we using little old men with white hair and chains?
Yeah.
I don't even understand why we're doing that. Why don't we have everything is lasers and everything is computer generated, and it's just done automatically by a giant series you could throw, just like my car has a series of cameras that communicate.
Yeah.
You have a series of camera in the dome, and it's looking at the field, and then everything is done, and it's instant, dude. You don't need to walk it with the chains because it's instant. It's like, boom, got it. Boom, they didn't get it.
So this is a perfect segue into my last topic about sports is the referees, right? So in the Chiefs game, I don't know if you watched that game, Green Bay.
I turned it off at halftime.
And at the end of the game, the Chiefs had an opportunity to mount somewhat of a comeback. And Patrick Mahomes threw a really good pass to Valdez-Scantling, and there was an obvious pass interference from Green Bay.
This morning,
and they didn't call it.
Right.
It was a no call. And so that could have, because that would have put the Chiefs on, I think it would have been like the 10 or 8 yard line or whatever, and then have like, a real chance of winning. Yeah, they'd have to score a 2-point conversion, but,
they have the weapons and they know how to do
Mahomes,
that.
Like,
if there were any team to do it.
Yeah. And so they didn't call it. And I know that they changed the rule after that Saints game back in the day. Remember with the obvious? And then now you could challenge pass interference, but I don't think you can with under 2 minutes.
You can't under 2 minutes. I don't think you can.
So then they couldn't challenge it. And
because they're automatically doing it in New York, supposedly, right? Especially if it's a score. Is that what you're talking about? Where it goes to like an automatic checking? I don't know somebody in the chat room will know.
Well, the rule is that you could challenge challenge a flag, obviously, but you can't challenge a non-call unless, or maybe with under two. There's a reason, because I thought they changed the rule where
they
can
pulled the
challenge.
pass interference challenges back. Can't do it anymore. That's what Ghost says, and I trust him.
Okay,
it was a test for a year,
and then no one used it, and then they stopped it.
That's correct.
Okay, so that's what it was. I forgot what I was like. I thought they changed the rule, but they wouldn't change it back.
Thank God for the chat room. You can join the chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, or on YouTube, Tom and Dan Live.
So anyway, and it just, why not like every play that is obvious, like, because then. During the game, like, they went to the referee that's a part of the broadcast team. You know, I forgot his name.
The analyst.
But the referee's like, that is obvious pass interference, and everybody's like, oh my God, that's egregiously wrong, right? Like, and then the game went on.
Yeah.
So even the commentators, the referee that's part of the broadcast is like, that was wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't they just make a rule where if something is wrong, that they look at it, they're like this, and then just change it in real time.
You're talking about something that I think has been a pain in the ass for true, like, dedicated sports people for like years. You know, like, especially over in England, you know, when they introduced even replays. I mean, it used to be that it was the ref's word and that's where it ended. And is that foolproof? No, it's absolutely not.
But
and
that's
part
of
the game.
That's true, yeah. But now,
if we have the ability to do it, though, I don't see why we wouldn't.
See,
and rules change, things change. Why can't we change that?
Correct. Yeah, things progress.
So it's just like, because now, like, instantly we see it, and then instantly even the crowd sees it there, where it's an obvious pass interference. Now they're in Green Bay, so the crowd's not going to react as much, but you hear the Chiefs fans, like, you know, groaning as soon as they saw the replay. But it's like, why not just like, because then it ruins it for everybody, because then you're like, well, that could have changed the game. It didn't get called, and even the referee of the broadcast said that was wrong, and now we just got to live with it. Like, why?
Yeah.
Christine in the chat room says the human element in Major League sports will be hard to remove. Apparently, it adds to the game.
It takes away from the game.
It can.
Because
it absolutely can. I wonder if blanketed without knowing, right? I'm trying to figure it out, because, like, maybe it does add to the unpredictability of it, which makes it a little less like, maybe it makes it a little more any given Sunday and a little less like the best teams are always going to dominate. If there are some calls that are like a little more.
But shouldn't the best teams
I agree.
dominate?
I agree. I'm just throwing it out there for the sake of the entertainment value of watching the sport.
The problem, like, I can understand that if they went to, because this happens sometimes, is they go to the referee that's part of the broadcast team, and they're like, what do you think about this? And the referee's like, well, it's kind of subjective. It's a bang bang, you know, it happened.
You hear that all the time.
It happened like so fast that the referees on the field like either didn't call it or whatever, you know, it's like, but he didn't say that. He said, that was an obvious pass interference, 100%.
Yeah.
And so then those are the worst, because if he would have said, it's so close that it's hard to...
I don't know which way this is going to go.
Then it's like, okay, we can live with that. But when they all say, oh, this was obvious, this was a wrong call, then it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
It does, yeah.
And if you're in the NFL, it kind of makes you look stupid, because your referees now are making bad calls that are affecting the game, and all the gamblers out there that lost money on Chiefs teasers, or, you know, I'm sure, like, you know, I'm one of them, and maybe this is why I'm complaining.
I knew
maybe that's why you're so.
I knew
we could have gone to overtime. Chiefs could have kicked a field goal,
I knew we'd get there.
and I could have won my teaser. Anyway, but it sucks, because you're like, all the technology's built in. We're watching HD instant replay of everything. Why not just make it all computerized? Put a team of referees on every game that can make the calls and be like, this is the right one, this is the wrong one. You could do it fast. And I feel like everybody would be happy.
But you have to do it to get better at it, right? The only way you're going to get faster at it is if you implement it and just start practicing and getting people doing it.
Yeah.
And then you do it.
And
it's not going to be perfect at first, but it could be better.
And get more referees in there and get some more technologies that you could see stuff.
I am okay with just doing it all via cameras in New York. I'm totally okay with that. Camera angles. You don't even need those old men on the field getting their legs broke. Just do cameras and just like literally use lasers and cameras that nobody can see. It'll also clear up the sidelines and make it a little more enjoyable from a viewer standpoint. I don't need to see Big Dom or whatever the hell that fat guy is. Get him out of there. Make it just the guys that are playing the game, lasers and cameras, and then just let it play.
Get it together, NFL. You are so rich that it's beyond even.
I mean, instead, what you do is you take the technology you could use to make people like Tom win their teasers and use it for effing Toy Story. That's the technology you're going to use for, did they get the first down? Get the chains. No. Check the lasers, you idiot. We've got a chip in the ball. We know whether they got it or not.
Right.
But they're not doing that.
Each team.
I think there's a reason they're not doing it, though, because you always say that. You're always like, why aren't they doing it? Well, there's got to be a reason, right? And I think maybe that the refs are more important to managing the game from the standpoint of entertainment. I think that they, like Jay Cornell says in our Twitch chat room, that refs are graded after every game, bonused after every game, depending on how they performed. I mean, maybe it has something to do with them. I mean, the subjectivity of them being a human, does that play into them the parity of the league?
Yes, take that out. That you have to. It's like human
they
drivers.
They don't want to take that out, though.
I don't understand why, though.
I think because it's control, and if you have your thumb on the games and you can keep them, like if you can keep it from being a blowout, isn't that a good thing for your bottom line?
That is under that's kind of conspiracy theory under the assumption.
And you know I'm never conspiracy anything.
Because
but it does seem very weird that, because remember when NBA refs were fixing games and stuff?
Yeah. They swept that under
and
the rug.
there are so many. Andrea and I were sitting there watching the Falcons game. It was just like penalty. And again, it's the Falcons. I mean, granted. But I'm just like, this is so slow. Holy smokes.
But by leaving the referees in their calls, it leaves itself up for corruption and for some sort of weird corruption to happen. Now, you could say, well, the NFL, maybe they want to corrupt the games, but I would think there's no way they would ever do that and risk some referee coming out and saying, or testifying under oath, like, I was told by Roger Goodell to.
I don't think that would ever happen.
To throw more penalties or not. You know what I'm saying? Because
at that point it's like a secret society. Those people, like, they don't, they don't say anything.
So
it's all curvy daggers and cloaks. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
just leave it. Like, use technology to make sure that we can see every call and in those pass interference, like obvious stuff. Just make the call from New York or whatever.
BDM Ron has a good point. He says in our Twitch chat room, they want the refs in. It gives the game personality and someone else to hate if your team sucks. There's zero reason to use chains in football. The chains always make me laugh because they pull them out. And I'm like, well, how accurate is it?
Right.
It's a chain, for Christ's sake.
What if there's a tiny little kink in one part of it?
Yeah, it's a chain.
I like when they do when they're like when they show, and like when it's just a chain link, then they're like. It's like, all right, we see it. You're like, you didn't have to do a hand gesture.
And
we're watching HD camera footage of it 1 inch from it.
Just to make it official.
Also, you're not like scientifically, microscopically spotting the ball. You just put it wherever you think it goes.
Yeah.
And then you pull the chain out? That's so unscientific. It's like, I don't even know why it's even a thing. It looks stupid. Plus, it's like it's on a pole. It's dumb. The whole thing's dumb.
There's probably a pomp and circumstance of like we want the chain people to come out and measure it because it's part of like the tradition of the game and we don't want to take that away.
Make it hot like men and women. Like scantily clad ladies and men, like make it
ring girls that come out.
Make it like a ring or a ring boy to come out with the chains. And then you give me something to look at.
Oh, they're trying to get more of a woman audience and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's why
that'll
they're doing
never
the
happen. The cheerleaders are getting more and more conservative too.
They're
getting rid of them.
Oh, they're mixing in dude cheerleaders.
Or getting rid of them altogether.
I don't want that.
They barely even show them.
They don't
on TV.
Except for the Dallas Cowboys, they get grandfathered in. Thank you, Dolly Parton, for keeping that alive. Without Dolly. I mean, somebody's got to root for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders and hooters.
But there's no cleavage and stuff they used to. I mean, remember the early 90s?
Holy smokes, you'd get a high side and you'd straight up see a camel toe.
Oh yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah. It was
My
awesome.
dad loved
There's a
football.
lot of-
And they,
Camera angles looking up.
Yeah,
there
oh
used
my
to be a
God.
cameraman
Right there.
every break
Yeah.
showing the cheerleaders.
And look at the tees. Won't you look at the tees?
Look, I
Won't you
mean-
look at the big old tees?
They would damn near zoom in on them.
Won't you look at your big old tees? Won't you look at big old
Can't we do that?
big,
Let's
big,
do it
big.
again. Who's gonna get mad at?
What are you
Let's
talking
just-
about?
Let's just show them. Well, I'm just saying, like, if you just zoom in on the cheerleader just for fun, right?
No,
No?
they don't do it
No,
anymore.
now you gotta look at
The
Taylor Swift in
Falcons,
the box.
the Falcons still had their cheerleaders when I went to training camp, and we went out there. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm making jokes on the way over. I'm like, hey, Falcons cheerleaders. They're all. I get there, they're all dressed like,
Like
in
sweaters.
No, they're
and-
all dressed like Hillary Clinton. They got like suits
Oh, a
on.
pantsuit?
No, they
Yeah,
all
yeah,
like
yeah.
pantsuits on. They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
welcome to training camp. I'm like, who the hell are you? What are you? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
My God, Jada Pinkett Smith's here. I didn't want that. I wanted I want the poofed up red bustier, the little black, and the pom poms.
Yeah.
Go Falcons.
What'd you guys think about the whole Florida State thing?
I think it's bogus, and I think that what was it? T.J. Wright. I think he had it correct. I think it needs to go to like a playoff system, like the NFL does, where you have
Well, I don't
the
think
ability to put the undefeated teams, against each other. I don't think if you have a loss, regardless of what your lineup is, I don't think you should be in the championship.
Well, I don't know enough about it to make any sort of intelligent comment.
That has never stopped me before.
That's
Well,
pretty good.
But
Did you read that off of a card?
But what I do know is the people that make the decisions probably know the most.
But
Well-
it sounds like everybody else besides the people that make the decisions disagree with this decision, though.
Well, there's
Yeah.
isn't it like short of the long? Isn't the explanation? Hey, Florida State, your number one player that everybody wants to see is injured. You're playing with somebody else that's not as good that people don't want to see. So I hate to do this to you, but you're not going to be in the big games because you're not as important anymore.
Well, you can't
You think that's
win
what
with
it
the
is?
backup.
They
Is
could.
it-
They could win with a backup quarterback. Who says they can't?
Well, I guess.
It's not set in stone.
It
That's an
isn't set-
insane thing to say.
But I guess they, like, for instance, like.
It's also smacks of corruption if you're saying, well, you can't win with that guy. It's like, how do you
Right,
know?
exactly.
Are you already predetermining the outcome of these games?
I guess you do know generally how good someone is, like, because you've seen them play.
It's
you
just
know,
Doesn't
they-
mean they can't win.
It's just that they want to appease the larger college audiences, right?
I mean, it's all
thing.
money.
Yeah,
It is all money.
It's
Yeah.
like we can't not put Alabama in there, but they have a loss. They shouldn't be
Yeah.
in there. Didn't they get beat by Texas? So if Alabama got beat by Texas, then Alabama, sorry, you shouldn't even be in there.
Yeah,
You got beat.
It's I can imagine that everybody, because it's subjective at some point, right? Where everybody's
Just
because
do win losses. Then it's not subjective. It's like who's undefeated. All right, you're in there.
That's
Who-
what a lot of people want.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just right.
But strength of schedule is a real thing.
It is.
And then so people are like, well, if one team plays this insanely hard schedule against these teams that are all ranked high, and another team is undefeated against all these unranked teams or bottom ranked teams, then obviously this team, even with one loss, is better because they've beaten 9 great teams and this team's beaten 2 great
All
teams.
I'm
or something.
saying,
I
all
don't
I'm
know.
saying, and it's even carrying over to the chat room. All I'm saying are people that don't like FSU arguing why they shouldn't be there because their
Yeah.
schedule is soft. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no, it's like they don't like their schedule is their schedule. They're still undefeated.
Right.
Sorry, they didn't set that. Who sets the schedule? It's their fault.
Yeah. Well, I guess
You shouldn't set a schedule for a
Yeah.
team if they have no chance of winning out. That's
that
not
I agree
fair.
with. Yeah,
Like, then you
because if you won every single
Yeah.
game that you didn't get to pick the schedule,
It
that was
was-
what was given to you.
It's an impossible
then
task.
yeah, why am I even playing?
Yeah,
if I can't go to the championship.
It is like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you. I know you love value. If if Florida State had been told at the
I
beginning
think
of the year,
the coach even said like, "What's the point of winning?"
yeah, like so. Here's your schedule, guys. Now understand this is a soft schedule. So if you win this out, it doesn't really matter. We'll have to see how everything else shakes out. That's
Yeah.
not cool. Why am I
Yeah.
even here?
Yeah, it is definitely unfair and a flawed system.
So
for sure,
everybody
Adam.
besides Alabama fans are probably going to be rooting against them, right?
I think all of this has to do with Alabama, and I think that's very unfair.
Yeah.
I'm sick of Alabama.
I am too. Yeah.
It's just like you. Sorry, just you lost. Let's make them mad one season. That's fine.
It's all gonna start dispersing as far as the talent, because the college players can get paid now, and that's already happening. So, like, all the players are not just going to Alabama because they are destined to win the national championship again. Like, it's there. A lot of the players, good players, are going where they can get paid the most. So that will help.
And EJ is correct in our chat room. This is all Georgia's fault. If Georgia had won.
Yeah, I heard that's a close game. I'm
looking at you, Uga.
I don't follow college football enough to, because I'm going to say something stupid.
Well, we say things stupid every day. Don't let that stop you.
No, yeah. I know about the NFL. I don't know about
Andrea's
college.
a massive Michigan fan, so I have to watch Michigan games. I've been watching UCF this year in an attempt to root for my alma mater. Those are fun. I end up watching every Michigan game because of Andrea, and I very much dislike it.
I don't really watch any.
I don't like
college football anymore.
I don't like Lee Corso. I don't like his dumb helmets or his mascot hats he puts on. I don't like a lot of people in the sports world. I don't like Pat. Who's the guy? Pat. Sleeveless Pat with a gold chain. I hate that guy. Pat McAfee. Oh my God, I hate that guy.
Oh, Pat McAfee?
I hate that guy.
I hate him.
That guy is the most annoying. He looks like Guy Fieri. They just stretched him out.
Yeah.
It's like tall Guy Fieri. I hate that guy.
But that's his bit. That's
he's
his
terrible.
Stick.
He's terrible.
That's his thing.
I hate his tank tops and his dumb chain.
Yeah. That's his whole thing.
No,
He hates his whole thing.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's like wrestling at a certain point where it's like, these guys fall into characters and they start playing into it, and
now
it's morning radio.
Last night, Maisie,
he's doing morning radio.
Maisie made me very happy because we were watching Monday Night Football, and she came in and she goes, M&F. That's what she calls it because she thinks she's cool.
Oh,
and
I like that.
And then she pointed at the TV as I was watching the Manning brothers, and she goes, "It's the hot dog." She thinks that Eli Manning.
I always call him Thumbhead.
Looks like a hot dog with a hat on.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong. I even made a Photoshop of it, and it looks exactly like a hot dog.
Yeah. I don't know why that happened to his head. it got
too much helmet. Too much helmet.
Genetics.
I love watching him break down plays. I loved in the beginning of Monday Night Football, he was showing you how Trevor Lawrence will use his eyes to hold the safety. I love that stuff because you can use that in Madden. I can really use that in Madden, and a lot of times I don't hold the safety, and then I get picked. Big old pick six for old little Danny. What am I calling myself? Little Fuds?
Little Fuds.
Yeah, Little Fuds and pick six because I don't know how to do all of the right progression.
Yeah.
I love seeing him break down. Okay, look, this guy's over here. So he's holding his eyes here to hold the safety here. And he switched these guys over. Then he calls the audible here to make sure that these guys, the running back's going to get this guy. That's the stuff I like.
When you hear someone break it down, you're like, "Oh my God!"
But it's so fast.
It's so complicated.
No, he does it like an equation.
It's way more complicated than.
I like that he does it like a calculator, where he's like, "Oh, I already have the answer. Boom, chess."
Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and all in the blocking schemes and like how complicated each play is it's pretty insane.
How do these announcers remember all these statistics, all these
tell
players?
her about Collinsworth. Is it Collinsworth?
Yeah, they did a 60 minutes special one time. No, it was Real Sports. Real Sports did like an episode on Chris Collinsworth, and the amount of they basically prep for an entire week for one
game.
One game where they go over
Hours
every
of
roster,
Okay.
and then
Because I'm like, sometimes it's so fast. You're like, do they have something in front of them where they can quickly?
He does fake games. Like he'll call a game.
He'll call other games that he didn't call just to practice.
Just to call it.
And then so he'll do that once a week and then record
cool.
himself and make sure, because like the amount of preparation, and that's why some people are given a little S to Romo. Because
is he not as sharp on it?
Well, they say as it gets further and further from him playing,
he's less connected.
That he's less connected, and so he can't do what everybody loved at the beginning that he did, which is start calling defenses and
he's
calling
not putting
plays
in the work. If you really dial it down, he's not putting in the Collinsworth style.
Yeah.
Work.
And then people are like, well, he's not doing the broadcast work he should. That he was just relying on his playing days a little too much, and now that it's getting more and more dated, that he can't
Yeah.
do it as much, and therefore is not as good as he was. When did he start? 3-4 years ago, something like that.
Something like that.
Anyway.
Andrea and I both like Greg Olson.
Yeah, Greg
Although
Olson's
he
good.
looks like Turbo Man from the Arnold Schwarzenegger Jingle All the Way. He looks exactly like Turbo Man doll.
Yeah.
And we also like RG3. RG3 was meant to be a broadcaster. That guy's got charisma.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, I love
He's
the way
great.
he talks. Like, you see him jump in the pool last night?
No, I didn't see that.
I don't know why he did that. That was weird. Like, he had a really expensive, like, teal suit on, like, crazy with Italian loafers and everything, and then he yells Duval, and then he jumped in the pool, and I was like, it like bothered me. I was like, no, it's like $1,000 suit, but I guess they're paying for it.
I'm glad you brought this up because at the beginning of the Jaguars game, the
Jaguars.
the mascot
Jaguars.
apparently bungee jumps
Oh,
off the
he's
top of the
awesome.
stadium.
You know what's his
What?
name?
Yeah.
His name is Jackson DeVille.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
He's great.
So,
Jackson DeVille is great.
And I'm like, you're embarrassing yourself, Jackson.
Why?
Yeah, you are.
No.
It's so podunk.
I liked it. I thought the
We're
bungee
gonna
jump-
bungee jump off the top of the
He
stadium.
did a flip, Tom. He did a flip.
Yeah, I know.
And then he...
Well,
Oh, it's
bungee,
awesome.
but bungee jumping isn't cool anymore. It's
Oh, you're hurting my heart.
Yeah,
Freddie Falcon did it with Ludacris.
yeah.
What's cooler then? What should he have done?
What does Danny Dolphin do?
Like you're doing stunts before
What's
the
better
game.
than
It's
Dolphin
embarrassing.
Danny? Dolphin Danny just
Wait a minute.
sits there and drinks beer and slaps his wife
I'm
around.
just saying that's arena football stuff here. Like you just don't even show up. Like in most other NFL broadcasts, they rarely show the mascot.
Damn, chat room going hard. They're like, what do you want him to do? Jump a monster truck?
No, do nothing.
Do nothing.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Don't, show the players, show me the stats.
And the cheerleaders, and that's it.
Cheerleaders. Yeah. I don't want to see the stupid mascot do a stunt. Yeah,
One of my favorite things about EPL or English Premier League soccer is that all of my friends that are from England that I talk to about mascots, that's an American thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it bled over to like the EPL. I think somewhere in like the mid 90s, a lot of your clubs were being influenced by NFL and college. And like they were being forced to like Arsenal, my soccer team that I follow, has this like stegosaurus called Gunnersaurus.
Yeah.
And the real Brits,
They
real
hate it.
British hooligans are like, oh, you don't
Okay.
Gunnersaurus, a headbutt. They
Oh, yeah.
effing hate it. They
Yeah.
think it's the dumbest thing. They're like they spit on it, like you fingering, give it a middle finger, a Gunnersaurus. They see their own
Oh, you
mascot. They
spit
hate
on
it.
it.
They hate it. They're like, get out of here. We don't like. So they're very much like you.
That's
Gunnersaurus,
funny.
even though they still keep him around for the kids, but he's primarily like in the kid zone because the adults are like, I don't want to see him. Don't get him near me. I'll kill him.
Like if he showed up to
No, they
like
boo
the
him.
most traditional.
He could go to like Finn Henry's downtown where they're having a watch party. They boo him right out of there. They boo, get out of here.
Yeah, but if you went to a real like hooligan pub,
They take his head off. They take a dump in his head.
They start kicking his ribs.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It would not be
I
good.
like that.
My buddy, our buddy that listens in London, Tony, he told me he's like I bought your. He told me he wrote me a letter. He bought one for me, like a little stuffed animal. But he's like, don't tell people I bought you that.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about that YouTube influencer that just got sentenced to 6 years.
No, only 6 months.
Oh, 6 months? I thought it was 6
Oh.
years.
No.
6 months, not bad at all.
Not bad.
Then you'll have more
He
content.
even agreed with it.
Yeah.
he's like,
Okay, all right.
that fits.
Also, because he knows that's going to be content for whatever he's going to do.
Okay,
Probably.
So we'll play the video and talk about it when we come back. With more corporate time.
All right.
We won't because we already did a third segment, but we'll get there eventually.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the third segment.
It's fine.
That's fine.
It'll be on the same show. That
All right.
is Tuesday 1 and 2.
I forgot we had that segment.
So we need 19 for Tuesday 4.
Okay.
What is that? 3 and 4?
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
I want to see that, Ghost. Is that worth watching? I might check that out later this afternoon when I'm out chilling on the balcony with D. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. I definitely been wanting to watch that. It's a documentary on YouTube called The Dark Sad Life of Boogie 2988. He was like a YouTube sensation and got real big, millions of subscribers, and I guess he blew all his money on hookers and drugs and shit. And,
No, really?
Yeah, and it's really sad, and
Huh.
yeah, I'll watch it. It's only an hour, so yeah, I'll check it out. I watch a lot of those YouTube documentaries on comedians where they're like, here's Tom Segura and his wife, and this is why people don't like them anymore. Or here's Bert Kreischer trying to not be an alcoholic, and it's turning on, like, people are turning on him. I don't know. It's gossipy, weird stuff. How's everybody doing today? It's good to see you guys. I think the one that really gets me, Ghost, and I'm stuck on it for a minute, is Nikocado Avocado. That one is...
Or what's that girl? Oh, God. She's been hanging out with Jeffree Star lately that, like, severe anorexia.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
it's so sad.
Yeah, it's, yeah, I probably shouldn't watch that shit.
I can't watch it, but... Eugenia Cooney. That's who I'm thinking of.
I want to get a face tattoo live on the air.
Do it. What do you want?
A little dog paw.
Cute.
I want to get Dansby's dog paw and then
Like-
shrink it down tiny.
Like where a teardrop would be?
Yeah, and then put it right here by my eye. My little tiny dog paw.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
There we go.
We need 19.
19?
Yep.
Save that. Remind me to put 3 in there because it is in a different spot because we didn't have a
Okay.
folder at the time and the computer yesterday was not behaving. But I was able to fix that this morning, so we should be good. All right. Would you like to bring us back? Here we go.
Yeah.
3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So this YouTuber, real quick.
Yeah. I don't really know that much about him, but
I don't either.
I'm interested in this.
So I remember when it happened, and I think we talked about it when it happened.
He was a former Olympic snowboarder, I guess.
Yeah, and he's a skydiver, and he makes, like, you know, skydiving content and, like, probably snowboarding content or whatever.
Sure.
He's like an extreme sports YouTuber or something. Anyway, so I remember when this happened because everybody was speculating that he did it on purpose and that he should be, I think they took his license, like his flying license away from him after. But he jumped out of a small Cessna airplane, claiming that it broke down mid-flight and he jumped out to save his life, and then the plane crashed somewhere in some national park in the desert, right? And
Ooh, well, now, I'm surprised, just based on what you told me, that he didn't get into more trouble doing anything on federal property.
Right. Yeah.
That's real bad.
yeah, well, I'm sure the government will sue him, or maybe is in the process of suing him for cleanup and damage or whatever.
Could have
from
started
the plane.
a forest fire.
Yeah,
That's what I
don't
said,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now it is desert, so there's not much to burn.
Right.
But I know
I
that.
don't know that it's desert.
Is it? Is there woods and
It
stuff?
says Los Padres National Forest is on the seacoast and marine habitats to redwood forest, mixed conifer forest, oak woodlands, grasslands.
Okay.
So I think, and it says and some semi-desert areas.
this guy's an idiot. Everybody knows you do it in the ocean, you dum-dum.
Yeah.
You don't do it where there's trees and houses and humans, possibly. You do it where you absolutely know there's nothing but whales.
But then he would, I guess, jump into the middle of the ocean.
Well,
He'd need a recovery team,
Yeah,
right?
he would have needed a boat.
But then he would have got caught faster, I think. Because then, like, well, you had a boat waiting for you.
So I wonder what his official charges were.
It says it here. Hold on a second.
Barry Joe is calling you out for assuming it was a desert because it was called Los Padres.
Well, I saw the video. Dan, you played the video.
Yeah,
So
okay.
he pled guilty to 1 count of destruction and concealment with the intent to obstruct a federal investigation. Because he did go back. He hired someone in a helicopter, or maybe he piloted it himself, and went back and recovered the plane that he crashed and then destroyed it so that they couldn't find the evidence of the plane.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
So okay, yeah. He jumps out,
This is Trevor Jacobs, by the way.
and you see him. He's skydiving out. He's
It's pretty impressive.
And the fact that he's holding a camera, filming himself, and the fact that the plane.
I want to document this emergency I'm having right now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You'd be panicked, right?
And he had a GoPro.
And then it shows the plane crashing into the ground.
Oh, it wasn't that bad. I think I could survive that.
So they didn't get him with any of the actual plane crashing into it, or like putting people's lives at risk.
I'm assuming he took a plea deal.
And then they got him for obstruction of justice for trying to
Destruction and concealment.
to destroy all the evidence, so they couldn't get him.
He
And they got him
says,
6 months.
He says, while I carefully researched the plane route to make sure the crash would not be near human housing or trail routes, I should have never gone forward with it. Since reinstated they did reinstate his pilot's license. This guy just got a slap on the wrist.
Yeah,
This
he
guy
did.
got nothing.
They reinstated his pilot's
yeah.
license. He
Oh, yeah.
crashed a plane on purpose.
He was facing a maximum of 20 years, so he definitely took a plea
Well,
deal.
I mean, is this
besides
this is
from
like,
terrorists,
This is white privilege,
hold
right?
on. He crashed his plane on purpose.
Yeah.
So
But he's a normal white guy influencer. He's fine.
no other pilot has ever, that is still flying, crashed their plane on purpose, right? Like Sully landed in the Hudson River
Well, that
to
was to
save
save
lives.
people's lives. This guy could have killed people.
Yeah. Like he jumped out of a perfectly working plane and let it crash on purpose to create social media content.
Now, this was
Yeah.
his
They
defense. His
give him his
defense is
license back?
trash. His defense is trash. Attorneys for Jacob requested he be sentenced to probation instead of prison time. Writing in court documents, the snowboarder was, quote, living alone in his hangar, unquote, during the height of the coronavirus pandemic and made, quote, a series of bad choices that cumulated in the offense to which he's pled guilty. They're trying to plead that he was stir crazy from the coronavirus, and then he's no big deal. It's no big deal.
I can't
That's
believe they
nuts.
gave him his pilot's license
He
back.
should have his license back.
that's
Maybe
the most
eventually he
insane.
gets it back. Like maybe after
No.
some years you get it back.
No, you never get it back.
Oh, you're saying never get it back.
Like just the
well,
fact.
even with DUIs, when they take your license, you get it back.
You get 3. Right?
Back in the
Hold-
day, I think you used to get more, because I'm pretty sure my dad had like 5 before they finally took it away.
Hold on.
Maybe they were just disorganized.
Could be.
I took my 5 online points test.
Is it 5? You're done.
And then
You're done,
and for
buddy.
life, I can never get one back until I die. Then I'll never get it. And this guy got his license.
Never
back.
gonna get it. In vogue.
I'm just saying there are things for life that they have in place that like my points tests for getting tickets. It's life. I'll never get one back.
Here's what the
and they let this guy
Just for
get
like speeding.
for seatbelt, not wearing my seatbelt.
Right. But this guy crashed a plane.
The
Of
judge,
course, it's fine.
the judge says, he's pretty calm about it. The judge says, it appears that Jacob exercised exceptionally poor judgment in committing this offense. Jacob most likely committed this offense to generate social media and news coverage for himself and to obtain financial gain. Nevertheless, this type of daredevil conduct cannot be tolerated.
You know, he could have, I'm
He
sure.
also lied to federal prosecutors, right? So that's not worth anything. You know,
Well, no, that's what they got him for. They got him for obstruction. So
okay.
that's what he's doing the 6 months in jail for, which is weird that he's not doing any time for, like I said, crashing the plane on purpose or just take
You know what's insane is that he did fly back on the 10th, and like Sam said, with his own helicopter, and he was able to lift the wreckage out of the forest. People aren't like, hey, get out of here, your helicopter. It's just easy to zip in there, drop a line, wrap it under the plane, and fly it out.
And he had to have people help him, right? I don't know.
Well, I'm sure some other skydiver buddies or whatever. Also,
they're pack animals, skydivers. They love each other, and they hang out with each other, incestuous.
Some of these places are so
Oh, yeah, he said
huge.
he admitted that he and an unnamed friend used a helicopter to airlift the wreck, where he loaded it onto a truck trailer, moved it to a hangar at Lompoc Airport, cut it up, and disposed of the pieces in various locations over several days.
That's what you do with a body.
Yeah,
that's what you do with your grandma when you killed her because she wouldn't give you money to go up the street to buy a beer.
Oh, as soon as he jumped out of that plane.
Jacob said that the motive for his scheme was to earn commissions from The Ridge, a wallet manufacturer which sponsored his video.
Oh, I've seen the Ridge wallet. Yeah, that's the number one wallet for patriots is the Ridge. It's got the IRF, keeps the people from hacking your chip cards in your pocket.
I can't believe they gave him his pilot's license back.
No, it does say when released from prison, Jacob will not be able to apply for a pilot certificate during his during his probation and parole. So after that, I guess
after that he's good.
Yeah, once he's finished with his probation.
They're betting on him learning his lesson. They're preemptively giving him his pilot license back.
Probably.
No, they have. They're saying
like,
after you do your probation, you definitely get it back. He doesn't have to earn it back. He's already got it back.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. It's kind of scary.
Well, you made a
that doesn't
horrible,
make me the FFA,
super dangerous. FAA.
Yeah, FAA. What the hell's wrong with you? This is why people like me are afraid to fly. You're giving this guy his pilot license back?
So I guess the last topic we'll talk about is on the BDM page. I saw someone. It's got over 100 comments.
Oh God!
But
is it about me?
It was.
I thought we handled this.
Sweep it under the rug.
What are you on this time?
I thought we swapped it.
There's still dust.
So
Kratom.
I was sweeping, but it's all kratom.
Someone said that they left chili that they made, a pot of chili,
Oh yeah.
out overnight.
I love this.
Now,
this is the type of stuff that should be on the BDM page.
Now, they didn't,
This is the serious stuff.
They didn't give all the details as far as, was the lid on the chili? I'm guessing it was. The lid was on. He didn't say that,
Who leaves
though.
the lid off their chili?
Well, he didn't say.
Well, sometimes I'll leave it off to cool down.
Yeah.
Before I put it in the
Oh,
fridge.
I bet he did leave it off to cool it down. Because that's what he was doing.
Well, he didn't mention those details.
Can he call in?
I'm just going to assume that it was on. Let's just say it's on.
Okay.
He left it out overnight on the stove, and then he realized in the morning, and he said, what should I do? Should I put it in the fridge and save it, or do I throw it in the trash? And a lot of people commented.
Do you want my honest answer, or do you have one?
What would you do, Daniel?
Okay, I'm not a chef, but I do enjoy cooking. I would, and this is my honest, 100% honest answer, if I got up, walk downstairs, I'm letting the dogs out, and I realize I see the pot sitting there on the stove. I would walk over to it. I would look at it. First of all, I'd be mad at myself for not putting it away. I would stir it a little bit, and I would use my eyes to detect any AIDS or mold or any of the cancer that's on. I would just stir it, and then more than likely, I would put the top on it and put it in the fridge before Andrea and Maisie knew that I left it out all night, and then I just roll with it.
All right.
And then if anything happened, I wouldn't say a word.
This is a good hint.
I put it in there the night
So
before.
you're hiding the.
I would pretend that I had put it in there the night before,
Right.
and I would hope that Andrea wouldn't open the fridge to get like
Yeah.
creamer or something and touch it and be like, "Did you just put this in?" I'd be like, "No."
So like them knowing you made a mistake is
Far more detrimental to me
than your
than
family getting sick.
Thank you.
All right,
this guy
all right.
gets it. I want to
Someone,
fist bump you
I'm
so
reading
bad
the
right now.
thread now, and someone did say I would just add extra water and bring it to a boil, then let it simmer just under a boil for 20 minutes. I'd probably do that.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Just like heat it up.
Put up some more water, reboil it a little bit.
I think that's what a witch
kill
would do.
Kill the bacteria, right?
A witch would just re-fire the cauldron.
If you put it in a bowl and you heat it up, you nuke it in the microwave. It's fine, right?
I don't know. All the chefs on that were
everyone
saying,
in the service industry is like, that is not safe.
Do you
Not
know
that you'll die, but you probably will have
that's
diarrhea.
like lawyers saying,
Yeah.
"Don't do this, you'll get sued."
You know
They're
the
like,
term they
"Yeah,
use?
they're in the mix of it too much."
You know the term that the chefs use that I hate? Much like I hate it when people are talking about what's the movie with Jamie Lee Curtis where the guy's chasing her?
True Lies.
No, and trying to kill her? No, that's a good one.
The Texas Chainsaw
Halloween?
Massacre.
Halloween. Thank you. Halloween.
Hmm.
I don't like it when people are talking about the movie Halloween and they're like, "Oh, the shape. It's the shape." They call him the shape. No, it's Michael Myers.
What do you
I've
mean,
never
The
even
Shape?
heard that.
Yeah,
I've
look that
never
up.
heard the
Everybody
shape.
calls him the shape, and I hate it. It makes my skin crawl. Like people are like, "Oh yeah, the shape is so terrifying." That's what you're supposed to call Michael Myers in the Halloween movies. You're supposed to call him the shape. I'm not doing that.
I've never
The
heard
same
of
way,
that.
I'm not saying, just like chefs, this drives me crazy when chefs are like, "Oh man, it's been out too long. It's in the danger zone." Don't say danger zone. Don't say what danger zone. The shape, danger zone. It's not the danger zone. It was some chili that was left out overnight. It's fine.
So I was
The shape.
I was super
In
surprised.
the original Halloween, in the credits, he was called the Shape.
Yeah, and then so if you're like one of these nerds that loves this stuff, you'll be like at Halloween, you'll be like sitting down to watch Halloween. Can't wait to be scared by the shape again. And I'm like, I want to kill you.
I've never even heard that.
I want to kill you when you say that. Don't say that. And don't say danger zone. It's been out too long. It's in the danger zone. Don't say that. Also, here's one more thing you shouldn't say. If you feel like rocking or you had a rocking good time, keep it to yourself. Don't say that was rocking or I'm rocking. Don't say that.
Don't say "Let's get ready to rock."
Don't say let's get ready to rock. No.
So I was legitimately surprised by the amount of people that said "throw it away." Like I couldn't believe it because
I too was embarrassed of our listeners that said that.
No, but
Look at these pansies in there. All these pansies in there. They're danger zone, danger zone,
Now-
danger zone, danger zone.
If you look it up, the internet tells you to throw it away.
Yeah.
So, and they say that if it's out for more than 2 hours, it could get foodborne illness or whatever. So, in what I've read, because I just searched it on Google,
Yes.
and I guess professionals say throw it out. And I guess
Well,
that's
I'm not
why
a professional. I'm an amateur.
So I've done this. I've left chili out overnight,
too.
and I didn't even
Pizza,
think.
For 8 to
chili.
10 hours?
Oh yeah,
12 hours.
Yeah. And I just put it in a Tupperware. I didn't even heat it and then put it in the fridge,
Yeah.
and then it was fine. And my
Did you
rationale.
have massive diarrhea?
No,
Okay.
it was fine. And my rationale was
No
like,
danger zone there.
the meat, everything inside of
It's
it is
already
cooked,
cooked. Yeah.
right? So, and it's also acidic as hell.
It's just going to
right?
evaporate. It's
Like,
not going to. It's not going to like.
And if it did get mold on it, like mold isn't the worst thing to eat. Like I've eaten moldy bread, moldy meat, like bologna. You ever never had moldy cheese
I eat
before?
fish.
No.
Like
Fish.
Like
I cut the mold out.
like some cheese, like they put like
Yeah, blue cheese is mold.
like there's hams and stuff that grow like mold on them for 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's,
My
it's a
ass is
delicacy.
my ass looks like a moldy ham.
Like mold isn't inherently bad for you. I
No.
guess some types of mold, but like food that's already cooked.
I like my food to be all spored up.
And I thought that the only like food poisoning type illnesses were caused by undercooking food and undercooked like salmonella.
My
or
wife's
whatever.
in there. She says it's not mold. They're talking about bacteria.
Yeah, but bacteria. There's bacteria in everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and
You
so-
got bacteria.
So
lady.
if you left stuff out and there was like, say you had some milk that
What kind of milk?
that you left out,
Strawberry milk.
and then there was some mold in it, and you
Okay.
drank it, what's gonna happen?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Nothing.
Like nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen. I think it can go real far. I think you can you could like literally put your hands in intimate areas of your body, crevices and cracks. I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
And put them right in your mouth and lick them good, and nothing will happen.
Yeah.
You're fine.
I feel like 95% nothing will happen.
Yeah.
Like it's rare to get any sort of.
The danger zone is a very, very small place.
Yeah. Because if it was like common for people to get really sick from eating old food, I feel like it would happen a lot.
You mean
Is that why everybody calls off from work?
You don't think any of
That's
these
a lie.
restaurants? You don't think any of these restaurants across Orlando, somebody has left out a big old pot of stew and then been like, it'll be fine, and put it in the fridge?
Like I honestly, and like this happened to Seth the other day. Seth, like I went out for my birthday dinner and I got food poisoning. I've been sick all day, and
I don't know. We heard his intestines yesterday on the
He
radio
sounds
show.
sick just when he's healthy.
That's just him.
And I'm like, I don't think that's food. Like because people say they get food poisoning a lot, and I'm like, I don't think you're self-diagnosing.
People also say they have anxiety a lot, and they don't. You know? It's like you're just drunk, you know, or you're just freaking out, you know, like.
Well, I mean, the anxiety thing is like, that's a natural, thing that your brain will put out a stress chemical. Like,
Well,
I
it's
believe
like
that.
when you and I used to make fun of me and Crystal because every time we lose something, we're like, somebody stole my shoes.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, nobody stole your shoes.
I think people blame food a lot more than it's actually the culprit to
or just
illness.
their baseline health.
Yeah. I don't think people are getting food poisoning that much, at least as much as they claim.
I've only had it one time, dude.
Like I feel
in 47 years, I've had it one time.
Yeah, I think I ate this hot dog from. Remember that? This seriously the only time I thought that I threw up because of something I ate. I ate a hot dog. Remember the fast food restaurant called like Backyard
Burger
or something?
Yeah, by the radio
I think
station.
some are still around.
Yeah,
okay.
there's one still by the one in Maitland is still there.
And
you're besmirching its good name.
Well, this was
You ate a yard dog?
I'll tell you what happened. I ate a yard dog.
You had a rotten yard dog.
In college, I stopped by and I ate it in my truck like a POS.
With a Dolphins hat on.
Yeah, like before, I think it was before I went to Champs or something.
Did you wash your hands before you made out with Crystal?
Yeah,
Did you have hot dog hands?
And then I ended up puking hours later, and I was sick for it was only for 3 to 6 hours or whatever. I felt bad. I
like
puked or
real
whatever.
food poisoning. Yeah, it's quick.
But then, and that's what I attributed to. But it probably could have been any dirty hands. I could have touched some sort of feces or something. You know what I'm saying?
I feel
I
like
never
my
wash my hands.
I don't
great.
either. I mean, I don't
I
either.
never do it.
I mean,
Even
I do around here, but there are times when I'm alone at my house and nobody's there, and I'm just a real human. I don't wash anything. I'm scratching everything. I got fingers up nose, fingers in ears.
You don't wash your hands every time before you eat?
Every time before I eat, yeah.
Oh,
I don't do it.
okay.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah,
I make Maisie do it. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah,
me
you're
and
putting
May,
stuff in your mouth.
Yeah, I always wash my hands before I eat, but I don't always brush my teeth in the morning. I don't always wash my, if I'm alone, if I'm working on my scooter and then I come up to have lunch, I won't necessarily. I mean, I'm eating chips and I don't care. I don't care.
When I was helping the wizard with his flooring,
Glue hands. You eat with glue hands.
I had first I started the day off with alcoholic diarrhea, and then I glued.
Keeps you light on your feet.
I worked for 5 straight hours in the morning, had glue hands, and then we ate a Publix sub. I don't think I washed my hands before I ate
I don't
it.
do that.
And then it was dusty, and I
it's
ate it
purposeless
standing.
to wash your hands if you're going to get them glued up again. You might as well eat them with the dirty hands.
I ate
Wasn't there dogs walking all around that
Oh yeah,
floor?
the dog and
Doo-doo
the
in.
doo-doo,
Poop in the glue,
yeah. And I just ate it standing up with dust glue hands.
I like eating standing up. My family doesn't
Do you
understand
digest
that.
better?
I'm like Crocodile Dundee. I'm just more happy in my outback lifestyle.
Have you seen what yard guys and construction workers eat every day?
Yeah,
and
but they've built up their immune system.
Hey,
but that's what makes you tough.
I got a new character.
You
for
can't just start out of nowhere.
You should be living like those guys.
I got a new character for you.
They grew up that way.
And I gotta be careful, but I see this kid every morning at my 7-Eleven. You guys know I love going to my 7-Eleven. I got a nice rapport with my ladies. Shout out to them. I love them so much. There's this kid that comes in with his mom every single morning, and he's like construction kid. He's like 12 or 13 years old, but he goes and he gets a big Bubba Gulp full of Mountain Dew with his mom buys it for him. So he has a Bubba Gulp, and every morning, I kid you not, Monday through Friday, every morning at 7, he's there, and I'm getting my Diet Mountain Dews. He gets a Bubba Gulp of soda, full fat soda, and he gets 3 steak and cheese taquitos for his breakfast.
I was about to curse. I was about to say that's effing delicious.
Every morning.
I mean,
Every morning he eats 3 steak
And
and
he
cheese
will grow up to
taquitos
be a construction worker.
and a Bubba Gulp of soda, and his mom buys it for him.
what are
This
you?
is the way.
It's awesome. It's awesome. He's not fat. He's like a typical gamer. Looks like a little gamer kid, a little Twitch kid, playing his Call of Duty.
But the only thing keeping him not fat is his age. And as soon as he hits 26,
that thing,
Plump up.
the
morbidly
thing that
obese.
holds his soda, the vessel for his soda, is maybe 2 inches off of a like a Homer bucket. It's huge. It's the metal. It's the one with the diamond plate on the outside.
I mean,
every morning he's there with me. I get in line with him. I'm like, hey guys, I say hi to him. Every morning, 3 steak and cheese
the
taquitos.
horrible thing is that kid will live his whole life and may not get anything wrong with him. And then
I know, you're right.
And then someone that was raised vegan and the most, like
cancer crazy.
randomly
All
get
the cancer.
like some colon cancer or anything. It's just a roll of dice, which is so unfair.
Yeah. And that kid looks so happy. He's so happy. He's always playing Pokemon Go.
All right, we will see you tomorrow.
All right. Is it lunchtime?
Yeah.
All right, we got that's Tuesday.
Tuesday 4, and I'll need an intro for this.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
All right, guys, have a wonderful lunchtime. We will be back.
Around 1 o'clock.